on the Dragon that IG were at first.
All right, well, we're jumping into Champ Select already. It's been a quick break on this one, so just so you guys know, Mole grabbed himself the MVP. If we're going to show you the damage chart, I'm sure he would have been far and away ahead of everyone else, but we're into Champ Select, and IG have stuck to the blue side here, so bans going to be somewhat repeated, but that Bard taken off of the board.
That's the big difference, is they changed the Thresh for the Bard. V5 keeping their bans exactly the same as well. So I want to see where V5 go from here. Do they go Thresh Nidalee this time around?
Yeah, I feel like it's probably the Thresh Nidalee or the Graves, because they have seen them when they go towards the Thresh, because you've got the guaranteed CC there. Going towards something that's a lot more burst-orientated and carry-orientated can be great. And I was actually surprised to see the V5 Kalista ban when the Bard was banned away, because the Kalista has been such a strong pick for Sam D when paired with that Thresh.
Worth mentioning as well that this Nidalee has not been picked up by Ning at all this split, so maybe something that IG aren't willing to go towards, but it wouldn't surprise me too much if they do still go for it.
It is one thing that he's actually played in solo queue, which has surprised me, is that he isn't willing to translate it over to pro play. But so V5 going with Ashe Sett is actually extremely interesting. We need to remember that Sett is, you know, a three-way flex for this team. I guess potentially four-way, because, you know, Biubiu can always bring that up towards the top side, even if he hasn't played it yet this split.
We'll have to see where on earth that Sett goes, and as you rightly say, it's not something that you can predict here. On the side of IG, though, they're going to go towards a support for Baolan, taking this Thresh, but it's also a take away from ppgod.
It feels like you're giving a lot of what IG wants to do with this Aphelios over, though, because Aphelios likes when guys are jumping in on top of him. Well, that's what the Sett wants to do, dive in with the showstopper. You've also got the Ashe who wants to go for these picks with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You now got Thresh to reposition this Aphelios if he gets caught, especially if the Aphelios is going to take cleanse. So, I mean, IG kind of coming out looking good so far.
I do want to say, though, the fact that V5 didn't pick this up in the first two picks tells me they wanted IG to pick Thresh. Like, they're planning against this. They knew this was going to happen, and now that we see Sett, my guess actually Sett mid, not Sett support, for the fact that they go towards this Nidalee again. You have mixed damage in mid-jungle. Sett very good at ignoring the laning phase, just pushing so Nidalee can evade.
And a very strong mid-jungle 2v2 as well. We've seen once you do hit that level 6 how easy it is for you to set up for these Nidalee camps.
And also the really nice thing is this Sett is such a flexible pick. They can always put it to support if they need to, but they could potentially bait out some bans from IG towards the mid lane here.
Yeah, and I think, you know, going forward, the fact is, even though we don't think it's a flex, you should keep it a flex and just pick top lane here. Don't show anything for the side of V5. You do have the Ornn still open, which would go quite well with your composition. You can go back towards that Wukong that you did so well in game 1.
We could.
Well,
I mean, let's wait a second before it's locked in and before we analyze it too much.
Well, I was going to say that still, with the Pantheon, if they do go for it, still keeps their options open with flexibility. Because we've seen Pantheon support, we've seen Pantheon mid.
It's Pantheon support, Dag. I'm sure of it. I'm feeling it.
I'm
feeling ppgod's Pantheon, guys.
If there's one way to assert your dominance, that is it. But we got an old classic coming through here with the Neeko, I'm assuming for rookies.
It's definitely rookies, Neeko. This has been a champ that he loves going back towards. And I love that he's picking it up against Mole, because guess what, guys? Mole still plays Neeko's bot lane in solo queue. It's actually hilarious.
Let's just clarify, all through spring, Mole was playing Neeko all over the map.
So what I want to see here now for V5 is something that can still continue to play at range. Because while it's all really good that we've got, like, oh, we got these Pantheons, we got the Sett, and we got this kind of stuff, well, you are all diving in on top of Neeko, who loves people to be in on top. Same with Kennen, same with Aphelios. This is a team that is built to fight against what V5 are going for.
I love that you highlight that, because IG actually coming with a really smart last rotation in their draft against what V5 picked up. And V5's draft, again, whenever you go towards this Pantheon pick, it signals that you typically need to snowball. You typically need to get it going, find those advantages. To where IG's draft is extremely well-rounded. You have early game power in your soul lanes. You have the late game threat coming in for the Aphelios.
And just look at the drafts. Doesn't it just scream from V5, we want to play around bot lane, and it screams from IG, we want to play around the top half of the map. It's like, you can very clearly see the identities here for the teams, but I love that with IG, the players are so damn flexible that you can, in the last rotation, just completely counter the opponent's strategy.
Yeah, and it's great to see. And again, bringing out these lane-dominant champions like the Kennen and the Neeko, something I love seeing Rookie on. It really has no bad lane matchups, and then extremely strong on a one-item power spike. And as Dagda said, going to do great into a lot of the champions that V5 picked. Maybe the only hindrance being that Nidalee, but still going to be hard windows for V5 to execute.
Well, I was going to say, the terrifying thing is the gank setup for this Nidalee is super strong because you can pair this with the Pantheon, who has the ultimate, and if you're looking towards the Sett mid lane, if you can close that gap onto Neeko, you can set up with the Grand Skyfall in towards that Showstopper, in towards a Nidalee Spear, and you got a lot of damage there. Same if you want to play towards this bottom lane. Like, this dive duo between the Sett and the Pantheon is actually pretty potent, not only when it comes to team fights, but definitely in lane scenarios as well.
I'll have to see if it's going to work out here for IG in game number 2. 3-game series and not something they are shy about, and they're ready to try and push this one further. But V5 with a heavy snowball composition want to repeat game 1. They want a fast win once again, and we'll see if they can complete their trial of strength here. We're heading into the second game of this series, and Victory 5 with 1 win in the books already. IG are looking to contest and fight back, and with the draft, it feels like compositionally they're going to have an advantage, but just like in game number 1, this ain't necessarily coming down to just compositions. This is coming down to early game action.
Yeah, and early game action is something I expect to see from both sides, but especially for V5, because when you do pick up this Nidalee Pantheon combo, you really want to see some early ganks into the bot side, right? Flash W from ppgod, setting up the spear from Weiwei and guaranteeing some of these kills.
And you can see already IG are trying to prepare for that, right? You've got the cleanse that's going to be there, which is obviously for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow as well. And you've got that exhaust from Baolan. And Baolan, if you can predict these plays from ppgod, you can play the Pantheon out of that stun. So Baolan does have at least some counterplay for what the game plan here is for V5.
Oh, wait, I got surprised.
It's not the real one. It is not a Kennen mid. It is Neeko just pretending in the end. Mole is going to be bringing this Sett to the mid lane once again, though. This is something that we've seen him do a couple of times already this split, but also it's a style that we've seen from him a lot. Something that is non-interactive and can just clear the wave and get elsewhere on the map.
That's what we said we loved about Mole, right? Is he's able to play numerous styles. He's able to pick up a Zoe and carry one game, and the next game go towards a Sett or a Fiddlesticks, ignore the lane completely, and just try to support Weiwei in the jungle. And talking about mid-jungle, even Rookie and Ning having good setup. You have the Glacial Augment coming out from Rookie, and even Neeko overall having great gank setup from her E, all the burst damage being there from Ning. If you time it well, can blow some summoners from Mole.
And the damage that Rookie actually manages to churn out on this Neeko is damn high as well. Like, we've seen the clip of him from Spring getting that pentakill on this Neeko as well. So, like, you still have to not only look at the utility that Rookie brings with this pick, but definitely the damage, the positioning, and that counterplay against what V5 want to do.
So, and like we already mentioned as well, Rookie going to have a very good lane matchup for himself. Obviously, Sett does not have lane presence anyway, and it's Rookie on something like a Neeko that has mostly only good matchups. Like, everything is stacked in Rookie's favor. It's just a matter of whether or not Weiwei and Ning can influence this laning.
Well, already we can see that Ning and Weiwei are clearing the same direction. They both started top towards bottom. And I like this adaptation from Ning because, look, you know that you want to try and make a play bot side here as Weiwei. So having Ning mirror this jungle route means that he can always position around that bot side against V5.
And funnily enough, as you say that, we see Ning go, well,
yep, never mind.
I cleared towards bot. Let's go get the top side scuttle because, you know, we have top side priority. They have bot side priority. I guess it makes, makes logical sense for Ning, but yeah, I want to see if V5 are able to pull off this bot lane play. We do see right now Puff and Baolan are under their turret, so not going to be easy to set anything up. And as we talk about this, ppgod's going to mid.
He certainly is. He wants to make a play here, but Mole is not really in a great spot to make a play right now. Already down to 200 HP. Does have the heal, though.
Yeah, he's got the heal, which is why I think they might have been able to make something work, but ppgod's been missing for too long. With where Rookie was positioned in the lane as well, playing up towards Ning on that top side of mid lane, means there's not able to be any sort of play that can go forward.
They also did have a ward, but, you know,
that
overall, yeah, exactly. Vision is good, unlike what we said in the first series.
Yeah.
Unlike what you said.
We've said a few controversial things on cast before. Maybe in the name of humor, or maybe, just maybe, I don't believe in vision. Mole going to take a big old trade in the mid lane, but Rookie is out of mana right now, so nothing too much going to come of it.
Sorry, but it is a bit ironic that the guy who wears glasses doesn't believe in vision. I'm just saying.
Like, this is why I don't like wards. I already have one thing augmenting my vision. I don't need any other extra distractions. ppgod goes into the bottom lane. Puff going to be forced away. A nice play to deter too much of a further play, but with a death sentence there as well. ppgod is low, but he flashes forward with the ignite. SamD forward as well, and it's a 2v2 kill. But it goes both ways. Puff goes down to the volley. Now it's going to be Baolan and SamD in a 1v1. The teleport that I saw got cancelled from Rookie. Baolan stacking up his play, though. He wants himself a kill, but the minions are attacking. It doesn't matter. Baolan cuts him down.
And that was so insane to see when Baolan initially hooked ppgod. I'm like, what are you doing? You're killing your AD carry. All he's doing is setting himself up for that double kill.
Baolan, the bloodthirsty king of bot lane.
And the beautiful thing here as well is that because SamD went down, they can't push in this bottom lane. Puff will be able to get up here and collect this big old minion wave for himself as well. And yeah, this is where Puff takes a little bit too much damage, but ppgod flashing forward aggressively here. I didn't think he was going to go that deep.
Well, I still thought that was overall going to work out because you were going to get your kill for the AD carry as compared to Thresh getting it himself. Great save over from Mold to make sure the TP isn't followed through. And yeah, overall, great play from IG's bot lane.
And the triumph was clutch there as well, because it meant that SamD had to turn around again. Ends up staying around that little bit too long, taking more minion damage, tossing that volley in towards Puff rather than towards Baolan. It ended up all over the place.
And even the wave left in a great place for IG's bot lane, which I feel like is something very crucial to point out, because look at Puff's CS advantage right now.
Yeah, Puff has a CS advantage. Weiwei moving into the mid lane, though, and they've got to make some plays here. Rookie did not get away with that one. The Pop Blossom's too late. I was confused by the clone, but V5 weren't.
Yeah, overall, the animation, even on the spear, was very strange. Me and Dagda both looking, wait, did that hit? It did hit. V5 able to pick up a kill, but IG going to react by taking a dragon.
Yeah, I thought that had gone a little bit astray in the mid lane where Mole actually suplexed away from the spear, but doesn't matter. Still get the kill. IG, though, having that push in the bottom lane, feel comfortable going towards this dragon, whereas Weiwei is just going to exit towards that top side and pick up the scuttle for himself.
And I want to quickly mention how important it was to shut down Rookie in the mid lane, because before that play, there was starting to become a sizable lead in the mid lane. There's a sizable lead in the top lane as well. With the fact that the kills didn't go V5's way in the bottom side, we're starting to feel like IG were building a snowball.
And I feel like this is very much what Lyric was talking about when we got towards draft, is that V5 are a team that does do well when they've got winning lanes, but hey, this is the biggest test for them right now, is they've got TheShy, they've got the Rookie, both in winning matchups. I like how proactive V5 are being in trying to turn some of these lanes back around, but this is definitely an uphill battle for them this game.
Well, and this is why we've typically not seen V5 be the team who strays towards picks like Ezreal, right? It's one of SamD's least played champions because they realize, hey, we need pressure in bot lane. That's how our team style works. And also very interesting to me that we've seen them pick up this Nidalee Pantheon combo. This is a very RNG-esque combo. Didn't work the other day against IG, and we see it going the same route with V5, where we have not seen this Nidalee come in the lane, you hit the Pantheon stun into a spear yet.
I think that's the most surprising part here as well, is just how inactive Weiwei has been towards that bottom lane. Now, I think a large portion of that obviously was Rookie having the teleport. He's more than happy with the wave clear he has to join in bot lane. But now with Rookie not having that TP, I want to see a bit more action bot side.
So IG now moving up towards the top side of the map here. Despite you wanting the action on the bottom side, Herald has just spawned. So now a Pop Blossom in the mid lane onto Mole. They want to make these plays, but ppgod's here to protect his mid laner. It means IG have to back away from this one. You see SamD not on the play just yet, still moving on over, but Biubiu doesn't care. He's starting this one off on towards Baolan here. As the play comes out, it stops the play from happening for now, but there's the kill in the end for Weiwei. His first pick here for V5.
TheShy was up in top lane. He was pushing in that wave, didn't decide to join in. So with all the man advantage that V5 had, they're able to power through that play. They don't even go for Rift Tower, which I love, because they're just open for TheShy to make a play, but he still might.
Yeah, Weiwei not in the greatest spot here. Has to flash away. That's the slicing Maelstrom as well, and Weiwei goes down. Mole uses a showstopper just to get himself out of dodge. Ning's going to try and chase for this one, but the phase rush means Mole gets out.
Overall, nice play coming out from TheShy to guarantee that kill. And now this will mean a Rift Herald for the side of IG. This game way closer than game one.
And I thought that the right call was coming through from V5. Don't go towards the pit. TheShy is going to have a field day if we go in there. Same with Ning with the collateral damage. Puff is going to do great with the Moonlight Vigil. But instead, Weiwei sticking around that little bit too long, trying to get too much poke on towards IG, while the rest of V5 are pressuring the mid lane turret, and it ends up being that play that gets them caught.
So this time around, it's IG with an early lead. It's not as significant as the one we saw from V5, but it's important to mention that IG are not actually in a rush to win this game. They've got an Aphelios, they've got Neeko who'll do great late game. They've even got things like the Graves and the Kennen as well. V5, however, with this kind of one-threat composition with the Ashe, they are not going to do too hot later on.
Yeah, I do definitely favor IG in the late game. I would say it's not going to be as cut and dry for them, though, because V5 do have a front line, unlike IG, who do have all squishy champions. So we do expect them to win out, but they are going to need to execute appropriately.
Which we've seen V5 do many, many times. We've seen IG show off their mechanics too. Red buff under contestion here as Weiwei won't be able to smite that one. Ning grabs it in the end, and everyone just retreats. They were just fine for the buff.
I think a lot of this is also just piggybacking off that last conversation. It comes down to execution, because you have really high pick potential on V5 with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, the ability for ppgod to maneuver around the map, and these long-range spears from Weiwei to come through. So if IG end up in these situations where they don't group properly for objectives, or there is just one person lagging behind, there is always the option for V5 to collapse.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it, right? IG are favored in late game, but there's a higher execution threshold for them. It's easier for them to make mistakes. V5 have tools to punish.
And let's just remember as well, we say this a lot at the LPL, easier to execute compositions are quite often just the king, because there's plenty of room for error. But if there is one team in the LPL that has the mechanics to pull off a composition like this, IG are certainly it.
Yeah, and actually both teams, right, having a bit harder to execute comps. V5's is also very skill shot reliant, but these are the two teams you want to see go toe-to-toe with more skill reliant comps.
That is definitely true. You can see Merc Treads on both sides of the board here in the mid lane. They know that CC is king in the mid lane.
And for the entirety of this game, right? Because look at all the CC that's on both sides. I mean, 4 members on IG, even the Moonlight Vigil. Mo, gonna hop out of there. I was like, do I have a moment to talk?
No, you don't, because Dragon's coming up Dagda in 10 seconds time. And IG are the ones with the advantage right now. They're positioning like it as well, but Weiwei is here. Biubiu has his TP available. ppgod's on the Pantheon, so he can always force a fight. We could have full contest here.
Oh, overall go IG using the Herald in bot. Going to go straight to the Dragon, pulling that prio over. Both top laners have TP, so... Well, actually not going to go for it.
Not going to go for any kind of TPs just yet. Herald forced in the bottom lane. And I'm surprised to see this Herald used and then the Dragon not forced immediate.
Yeah.
I agree, but it does mean that, look, IG understand, hey, with this Rift Tower can go down, we can still get collapsed on by V5, who have super strong lanes right now. Like, Mole in the team fight's incredibly strong. Puff isn't quite there in terms of against Sam D.
Oh, Mole's been caught, though. There's a box as well with Showstopper. He's like, okay, you want to fight me? Let's go for this one. In comes Pantheon. There's a Phase Breaker, the Pop Blossom, to counter the players. Ning tries to get out with his own life, but Mole has found himself alone on this one, and Sam D is here to try and sweep it up, but it's the clone. He's got me again, and Rookie gets out in the mid lane now. Mole trying to close the gap, gets the stun for himself. ppgod flashes in a spear from Weiwei. Once again, V5 come out on top.
And that's what I was talking about, is that V5 have so many long-range engages, so many ways to get from bot lane into a fight. Even Biubiu's Call of the Forge God can be so detrimental to IG in these situations. So moving back in towards that Dragon Pit could have been absolute doom, but it did get caught out anyway.
But let's remember, that was not IG getting caught out. That was IG getting the pick. That was the Thresh hook coming out from Baolan. And, oh, more?
Ooh, that was a close one. ppgod will have his Aegis Assault, so he's going to be safe. But you're absolutely right. It felt like they get the hook onto Mole. He's like, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
Honestly, I feel like this hook was still good from Baolan, and this was just exceptionally played. But who would have guessed that he would go in so aggressively? Such a decisive play coming out from this team. And even Weiwei hitting a great spear coming in. We just talked about the Pantheon ultimate as well. And this is a surprising thing about V5. They're such a decisive team.
I think it's such a smart play from Mole, though, because when you look at the champions that are there, you got Rookie, who's kind of that 1-2 punch with the EQ combo. You look over at Ning as well, who's very calculated in the damage that he puts out his Graves. You set up beautifully for Mole to get that full haymaker
Sorry,
damage.
Dagda, no talking today. TheShy's in trouble. Flashes away. Continue, Dagda.
But I already, like, Mole was like, look, they aren't going to be able to just suddenly burst me out here. I got my haymaker shield. The damage is going to steadily ramp up, so I'm going to be able to calculate how I can get that haymaker out of full value. But also, again, Baolan mispositioning, misplaying, and flashing into the Enchanted Crystal Arrow was really what set that up.
Yeah, overall, just great execution coming out from V5, and this game, once again, even one dragon for one dragon, gold pretty much there as well. And we just saw what we were talking about this point in time is, you know, V5 does have some tankier champions. It's going to be hard for IG to kill. And now could be a time where V5 can keep getting these advantages with their composition.
ppgod is staying in that bottom lane for a second here. I thought he was going to stay out of vision and try and make some kind of cheese play with Biubiu. One thing I do want to point out that we've not mentioned so far is Weiwei is grabbing every single kill in these fights. He's already finished his jungle item with an enchant. He's got an Athene's and boots on top of it. He is far and away ahead of Ning.
Top Esports banned this champion every single game for a reason. Weiwei looks too damn good on it.
And don't forget, the whole criticism that he had of V5's composition was, well, they'd like to play at range for what IG have. Weiwei being fed gives them all the range in the world to play around. This is now a new win condition added on for V5 that they can just look to exploit.
And they've just been doing so good at not taking these 5v5 team fights, despite the fact that, hey, you know, Aphelios isn't quite there yet, but still, IG will do good in them. They've just been making picks, right? They just threw out the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, the ppgod's ultimate came in as well, and they're just using their burst to quickly finish off members of IG, not allowing a team fight to happen.
Now, that to be said, we're still looking at even gold. So although V5 have been finding these picks, making these plays, that early deficit is coming back to haunt them just a tad. And especially with this Rift Herald up and available, Mole pretty low on this top side, actually potentially going to lose this tower to TheShy. I'd argue IG can actually go and make a play towards this Rift if they want.
They definitely could, and even TheShy right now is so massive, right? Has the proto belts, has a needlessly large rod as well as the blasting wand, so going to be really strong with the big ultimate.
My brain just basically exploded for a second there because Rookie was pretending to be Baolan and then cloned himself, so there were three Threshers on the minimap going in different directions. It is going to be IG collapsing onto the Herald here.
Puff?
Yeah, I was about to say, Puff is bot side, Biubiu has TP. IG need to be really careful here.
V5, we know that they're well and truly proactive enough to make the play. In they go with the Aegis Assault. PP got back to full health, but he will eventually go down on this one. Spear goes through and Baolan has a stopwatch to keep himself safe. Now, Call of the Forge God across the team, but the Rift Tower is taken by Ning. Now the turnaround. That's going to be the Moonlight Vigil showstopper into the play, but it's Baolan, sorry, that goes down at the end of this one. Mole with a Haymaker, Puff gets out, and that's the ults coming out from IG, but Weiwei's going to kill on the backside. Sam D gets out with his life. All in all, it's 2 for 2.
Yeah, that was massive coming out from both teams. Had V5 known Puff wasn't there sooner, is this still going?
I don't know. IG looked like they wanted. Something nearly gets caught by the Tangle Thorns.
Yes. But the really good call by Rookie in that fight was to mimic Puff. By cloning him and mimicking him, it meant that V5 didn't realize that Puff hadn't joined yet, and then they're afraid to make the play. It's too late by the time they realize, wait, this is Rookie, Puff is still on the way, and it's at that moment that it's too late for V5 to try and make this play happen. But still, Maul goes, you know what, I got this. Manages to set up enough confusion that you can get the kill from Weiwei on the backline. Weiwei making a beautiful play here as well to get a double kill for himself, and it does cost Biubiu his life, but still, it's a 2 for 2.
And overall, the play from Mole and Weiwei was so good. That initial face breaker from Mole, clumping so many members together, setting up a great spear from Weiwei. And now, I mean, we're back with both teams going toe-to-toe. Dragon is coming up, but V5 are the ones with vision and priority.
And, well, was a Rift Herald. I don't know if it... There it is. I was about to say that can still be used. I was like, hang on. And this is going to be able to create this pressure in the mid lane, and then they can move over towards this Dragon as well to give IG a little bit more control. And IG, as we talked about, they want to be the ones that can control River because they want V5 aggressing on towards them.
So let's talk about Dragon for a second here because it's up. It is only going to be the Cloud Soul, but you can't expect either of these teams are going to be willing to just give it up for free here. Who are we giving an advantage to right now? Because this feels damn close.
Well, at the moment, I'd love to just see Weiwei continue poking, not actually looking for these big engages, but Mole trying to get a flank off, see if he can get into the right position to have these big engages, and we talked about it. This is a lot around execution right now.
To me, the game-changing player is TheShy. If TheShy can hit a massive slicing Maelstrom onto Weiwei and Sam D, IG will be able to come out ahead. If that doesn't happen, I definitely favor V5's comp right now.
It's 5-7 on the scoreboard right now, but the gold tells a different story as IG just 500 ahead. It is so damn close here.
I love the way the dive bros are positioned on the bottom side here. Mole and ppgod trying to see if they can wiggle their way in towards IG's backside. And it looks like Mole might have found the perfect flank position here.
Oh.
That's not Puff. Is it Puff? That is Puff.
Weiwei's just trying to burn down the dragon right now as Ning gets into the pit himself. He's knocked up though, and Mole trying to find the flank onto Puff. In the meantime, he just finds Ning for himself. Haymaker available, nearly finishes off the jungler. Dragon went down in favor, but there's a flash forward from TheShy. You said he had to pop off, and pop off he will. Pop Blossom on top of that one, and this is going all the way of IG. There's a face break from Mole, but he has to flash out for his life.
Overall, though, that's what we needed to see from TheShy. It's what we got. Great play coming in on the Kennen, hitting the Slicing Maelstrom on the 2 members we talked about, and now picking up 3 kills.
And now they can do whatever they like. They can shove in this mid lane. It was such a fantastic call, but the Baron is just
20
defended.
minutes, Dagda.
If there's anything that IG love to do, especially when they've got Aphelios, it is rush this Baron. Weiwei still dead for 10 seconds.
Yeah, but still, this is going to be great for them. They have the Aphelios like we've already talked about. They have a ton of bursts coming out with the Graves as well. ppgod does have his ultimate, though.
He certainly does. There is plenty of opportunity for V5 to contest this one, but everybody is here from IG. They're 5 members strong. Ult's going wide, though, on this one as ppgod arrives. Mole in the middle of everyone, trying to get some face breaker action going. Haymaker goes through, but the Baron is going to be taken down by Ning in the end. Now can V5 find themselves a fight? The Tangle Bobs is just beautiful. IG might have just got away with daylight robbery here. V5 can do nothing.
They gotta just leave. They weren't able to close that distance. The ultimates weren't up on time from Sam D. Mole didn't have his, and even though he gets the face breaker, he actually can't pick anyone off. So IG, they get the fight, they get the Baron, and yeah, they'll lose mid lane turret, but I'm pretty happy with that trade.
I would have loved to see V5 just go for the ultimate gamble, you know, just have ppgod ultimate into the Baron and then Mole run in at the same time. Just, you know, 50-50 it, but this was the fight we saw. It was really strange to me that Mole was just around the backside, just kind of getting Puff's attention the whole time, but keep your eyes on TheShy. He's going to go in aggressively here, get Sam D super low, and even ppgod as well. Pretty much jumping into that.
So smart from TheShy as well to swap to cleanse before that fight kicked off. Actually, we see in our bottom left corner, Biubiu got picked off as well there, so not sure what happened. But TheShy swapped to cleanse, which meant that he could actually continue forward, getting onto the immobile members of V5. And that was the big difference maker there, because otherwise, you would have just saw Sam D take a step back, then the slows come in and TheShy can't push forward, but was able to have this Kennen take full advantage of that engagement.
So now we have IG with a significant lead as they begin sieging away in this mid lane. And I mentioned during game number 1 that V5, they have the 3rd fastest win time in the entire league. Do you want to know who's first? It's IG. When they get a lead, they will strangle you out as fast as physically possible. Root comes down on Sam D, and IG ain't stopping anytime soon.
And overall, this is TheShy.
Hang on, TheShy's in trouble here. Mole goes in for this one, but ppgod with the edges still keeps himself safe here, and suddenly the play's turned around. Haymaker goes in, and it's a 1-for-1. Support for top laner, but Pot Blossom might just change that. Rookie doesn't do too much damage, though, with Mole being pulled further into the play. Healed up by Weiwei. He cannot get out of this one. Ning finishes the kill off with his shotgun blast. Now it's Biubiu on the front line, but he just ain't tanky enough. Spear from Weiwei. Can't pounce onto Puff, though.
And there's nothing that you can do as V5. The entire time you're trying to make these plays, you're getting CC down. Puff is being able to close the distance, and he is churning out all this damage the entire time that fight is going on.
And overall, right, we're starting to see the Pantheon not able to have the impact it needs. Even Mole and Biubiu not getting to that point where they're too tanky to deal with the carries from IG. And to me, I feel like the critical members for IG this game have really been TheShy, Baolan, and Ning, which is really strange to highlight. Of course, TheShy does get caught out here, but you pretty much take ppgod down with you from that ultimate coming out from Ning. We keep seeing Rookie go forward. They get a good hook onto Mole. Sadly, doesn't seem like he has the Haymaker and does go down in the end.
It's also the way that IG are playing this, though, because usually we think, okay, this Neeko can be super hard to get this big Pop Blossom off, but able to go so far forward because you've got that Lantern to reposition you from Baolan, and it's this beautiful back-and-forth coordinated team fight that IG are able to put forward.
And you know, we talked about the junglers coming into this series, how it was Weiwei and Ning going head-to-head here. We've got jungle diff on both sides, because they're both going insane in this series. We saw it all about Weiwei in game number 1. He's got a great score here, but Ning's doing slightly better.
I mean, I do agree with the sentiment of your point, but this game does feel like it was a bit out of Weiwei's hands.
Yeah,
feels like it was more a team issue.
I could definitely agree with that. But does it count as, hang on, Sandy's gone. See you later.
Oh, God.
Ball with a flank here, but they're too late. There's nothing they could do for this one. Knockup is nice, but Puff's going to survive. The healing is insane. And V5, they've lost the gold lead, and they've lost any ability to fight. In goes TheShy to finish this one off, and a back-to-back double there for Puff.
Hey, we may have a ppgod, but it feels like Munchables is a prophet in this game because he called it going to a game 3. It certainly feels that way after IG are putting V5 in the ground.
And I mean, this is just standard IG though, and will they be able to just end off this? They have 20-second death timers.
Yeah, they're going to close this one out. If I know anything about IG, it's that they have the fastest game time in the league when it comes to wins. And they're going to keep that stat up with a 25-minute victory here. They're going on Samdi and ppgod. Nice stun comes out, and TheShy actually goes down, but the Nexus is bare. 4 members strong. IG should be able to close this one out. Flashes across the board. The Nexus falls. V5 winning 25. And